What is going on,
Man,
Boom
you
Crew?
still working out? It's like 1,000 degrees.
You good back there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool. All right, what is going on, Boom Crew? It is your man, Andrew Valentin, and once again, welcome here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show here from the Lombard campus of the Illinois Media School. That is correct, I believe. Did I say that right?
I don't know.
All right, close enough. All right,
I thought this was Lombard.
You mean Lombard?
I guess.
Whatever that paper was. Are you up?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get this up.
It's all good. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to struggle, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, our regular crew could not be here, so it is me and Tom. We are going to try to pursue this one more time by ourselves again. We're bringing it back to the old school days when we were finishing out season 1. That was way back in the day, but... Of course, yes, he is the man in the back there.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Tom McKinney. Can you put the camera on yourself at least?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Getting an intense workout.
Oh, my
You
God.
gotta be intense. Our friend here's getting an intense workout.
This is going to be a wonderful show.
I don't even know what's going on. I want to go home.
All right, Tom, how you doing, buddy?
I don't know how to get the side stuff up, so we're not going to have... I can get lower thirds up.
Well, the side stuff should be look to your left.
Yeah, I go to GFX1.
Right.
I see it.
And then guess what you do?
How do I take it?
You use the mouse. Come on.
I am using the mouse.
Is it not popping up?
It is, but then I go click.
Are you hitting the take on the GFX?
I hit take. It takes the full screen.
Right. All right. Well, let's just stick with it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a few things to talk about here.
Call me.
What?
Jake, call me.
Jake called you?
No, he needs to.
Well, hopefully we can figure this out soon. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we got some things we got to talk about here, so I hope you guys are really prepared for this one.
This is terrible.
We'll get through it. Don't worry. We've got, obviously, we're going to be hitting some British Open here. We're also going to be getting it in with some more MLB talk. We're going to be talking more there with some of the outlook on the season and also
I
some
figured
of the
it out.
There you go. You got it. You got it. It's wrong name right now, but, close enough.
I don't care about you. It's all about my love.
Yeah, well, you should be showing me some love right now. That's what
I
I'm
gotta
saying.
figure out which one is you.
Yeah. Sorry. There you go. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen,
Woo!
I hope
I'm a
you're-
genius.
I hope you're ready for this one, Tom. Are you ready to try
Yeah,
and
I
get
guess
this one
this is already a. What did Brett always say?
going? It's a you-know-what show, that's for sure.
A poop show.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's try to get this one going. The first thing we're going to talk about here, we've got we've got PGA talk. That's right. The British Open has been cracking on. And
Do you not have a lower third for that?
There should be.
I see MLB, the rest of the league. MLB, the rest.
It's all right. Don't worry about it right now. It's so we've got the British Open, or rather the Open, as it's known, very very prominently. The Open is going on, and as of right now, the man who is in the lead is Shane Lowry. I believe it's Ireland he is representing. Tommy Fleetwood is in a close second, just dropped down, and then you have J.B. Holmes and of course Brooks Koepka, who's holding his own there as well in 4th place. And then Justin Rose finishes off the top 5, tied with Brooks Koepka for 4th at 9 under. So there's your top 5 there. Now, the British Open, obviously, if you guys don't know, there's been a lot of news that's been breaking on this. Jordan Spieth's still in the hunt. You've got a lot of big prominent names that could still put themselves in this thing. But obviously, there's 2 names that are very prominent within the world of golf that did not make the cut, and that would be, of course, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. For the first time ever in their career, both players have not made the cut for a major tournament like this. And I mean, to me, I don't know how you view this on, Tom, but like I was a little shocked on this. I thought these two were going to certainly bring it a little bit more to the Open. I mean, what did you think about it?
Yeah, like I don't really watch golf after the Masters because that's the only fun sport part of golf.
Ouch.
Hey,
to each his own.
Hey.
I'll get, all right.
But it's no shocker those two aren't in it. They're old.
Right.
They're really old. They're playing in England. It's England where they have rain all the year round, so
right.
The weather's a big factor in a lot of things.
Yeah. Royal Portrush golf club in Northern Ireland. It's considered by many to be one of the most difficult places to play when you talk about a golf course. I mean, there are bunkers like no other.
There's usually bunkers in golf, sir.
There's more than you would expect, and the ridges are higher, the hills are a little bit deeper. I mean, everything about that course is just it's very hard to play there. That's all it is. And for guys like Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson who have played on this course numerous times, like you said, though, they are getting older. I mean, if for nobody that saw, if you can find the videos in the replays on it, but there are points where you can see Tiger Woods sort of wincing when he's, going through his motions, and then when he finally steps up and, strikes the ball, as soon as that club goes over his, over his back and over his shoulder, you can kind of see the little bit of pain on his face. Now, there's a lot of people though that are saying, well, is he faking it or is it real? I mean, it's
who knows?
Yeah,
who
exactly.
Cares?
It's a who knows type of situation. I wouldn't say I don't think he's faking it because 6 back surgeries,
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I love what I heard on I believe it was 670 The Score I was listening to. I think it was Lawrence Holmes that said, 6 back surgeries. Most guys would call it quits. The average guy would probably say, I'm done. I can't do it. I mean, I give him credit. I mean, he's still trying to go out there and compete. But at this point, he's in his 40s. In the next couple of years, he's going to be hitting the 5-0 mark. And at that point, your body's really going to start to wear and tear. I mean, Phil Mickelson's in the same shape. I think he's approaching 50 or is 50 at this point.
They can start entering the senior.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, they're getting to that point now where, I asked the question, is this the end of dominance for Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson? I mean, obviously you could argue that it's ended a long time ago, right? But they've been so prominent in the sport of golf that it's just like, well, those guys have to be there, right? I mean,
it's almost like we don't know how to act when those two do retire.
Exactly. Which I feel like we're in a good position. I mean, wouldn't you say? We've got some really good young golfers that I would say.
Yeah, but it's not Tiger. It's not
Right.
Phil. The rivalry.
Exactly.
It's those two. It's
Right.
only those two, and we need more of it.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. You nail it on the head. For how long was Tiger so dominant? At one point he was so hated by other athletes because of how good he was. I mean, other golfers did not respect him because he was so powerful. He was so strong. He would come in and he would just clean house, right? I mean, Phil Mickelson, he was a master. He was able to pick you apart piece by piece. He was able to do things that kind of showed people up. He would make some moves that would make people say, wow, that was pretty incredible. I don't know if I could ever make that move. And then it throws you off. I mean, these are two guys who are great at their crafts, and then all of a sudden now it's like, well, they're going to be leaving soon. And like you said, Tom, the rivalry. I mean, these are two guys that they respect each other, but they also want to play against each other at their best at all times. And you don't feel that. At least I don't feel that with guys like Justin Rose and Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler. I think those guys are all trying to compete with each other, but I just don't feel like there's any sort of real rivalry between them. You know what I mean? It's just it to me. It just
Yeah,
feels,
totally.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think maybe something can come of it. I would like to see the Justin Rose versus Ricky Fowler, all that stuff. I mean, look at Brooks Koepka, right? Brooks Koepka right now is, I would say, the top golfer in the world. I mean, I might be throwing it off a little bit, but I would say because of how he's been performing, especially this year,
Koepka.
I would think Brooks Koepka is right up there.
I think Koepka's number one.
You would say he's number one?
Yeah, go look at how many tournaments he's won.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and not only that, too, but look at his story, too, right? I mean, this is a guy that it took him to, 27 to finally get that opportunity to, step on the golf course with the big boys. He had to grind to get to this point, and now he's finally getting his moment in the sun. I mean, he's great at what he does. He's got a little bit of that Tiger in his game combined with, the style of Phil. He's a very patient guy, but he also wants to take it and rip it as far as he can and play aggressive and try to psych guys out, I mean, he's a winner. You know, he's a winner. I mean, you know, this is so I don't know, but there again though, he's not a guy that's very confrontational, right? He's not going to say a lot of things that the media might be able to say because like Tiger was always like one of those guys who would call out a lot of golfers, you know?
Yeah, well, but you got to remember that was the time.
Right, yeah. No, then that's fair to say. But like that's the thing is like I guess to equate it a lot with like let's go with like baseball and NBA, like Koepka reminds me a lot of like what we see with Kawhi and Mike Trout. Very quiet, very docile, doesn't really want to speak out to a lot of people, right? He just wants to kind of keep to himself, do his thing, play his game, and it works. It works for him. You know, meanwhile, Tiger Woods wants to kind of beat his chest a little bit, kind of talk, you know, do his thing, still show he's dominant. He's very LeBron-esque. You know, he's very, I don't know, I guess Alex Rodriguez would maybe be another one for a
God,
while.
I hate that man.
I know you hate him, but like,
Why would you bring
but, like,
him up?
Yeah, but like he's one. Like I remember when it was getting towards the end, he was still trying to flash the talent of dominance, and every now and then you could see it. Like he'd have a good game, but clearly towards the end of his career, it was like, well, he's no longer the same A-Rod. You know, he's not the guy that's going to be destroying the ball out of the ballpark. He can try, but he's slowing up a bit. You know, and that holds true for Tiger Woods. You know, and I mean, at this point now, it's time for the younger generation, I feel, to really start to step up. Because I think there's something there. You think you look at guys like Brooks Koepka, you look at Justin Rose, certainly Jordan Spieth, I mean, for what he's done. You know, Rory McIlroy's another one. I know he's not very young anymore. But these are guys that golf should be hanging their every moment on to be able to say, hey, let's boost the sport up as much as we can. These are great guys to put up there in the media and sell, you know? But it just doesn't seem like they want to do that because obviously, well, Tiger's still the guy.
Well, yeah, it's always going to be about Tiger.
Yeah.
Even when he's gone, it's going to be about Tiger.
Well, that's the moment where they're going to say, well, who's the next Tiger? You know, they're going to try to find the next replacement for him. You know, it's like what we always try to do with like LeBron, who's, you know, or Jordan, right? We always try to say, who's the next Jordan? Who's the next LeBron? Who's the next guy that's going to capture the league by storm, right? I mean, we always try to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what they're going to try to do in golf. That's the football tries to do that all the time, right? They try to say, who's the next Tom Brady? I mean, you know, that's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Who's the next Jerry Rice? Who's the next this? Who's the next that? You know, I mean, it's hard to. I mean, look, Tiger Woods is going to go down as a legend no matter what. Just at this point in time, I would say try to give these younger guys a chance. That's and Tom, really quick. I mean, before we get out of this one and move on to the MLB, I want to hear from you. Who do you think's going to win this British Open, man? Who do you think's taking, or excuse me, the Open? Who do you think's taking the Open?
Who's winning it right now?
Right now, it is Shane Lowry from Ireland. He's
guy?
the guy in the head. He's under 16 right now.
That guy?
You think he's gonna win it?
Yep.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm sticking with Koepka. I'm going with Brooks. I think he powers over, and I think he comes through. I think he's gonna tear it up in this point. So I'm still sticking with that guy. I mean, look, Shane Lowry going 16 under right now. That's pretty big. But Tommy Fleetwood's another one. He's only 12 under, so he's not too far off. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about the British Open. Give us your feeling. So, away from all that, obviously, we'll go back to America here, and we'll talk a little bit about Major League Baseball, because obviously me and Tom love Major League Baseball. And while we did talk about some of the trade deadline kind of stuff, we didn't really get a chance to kind of pour into how good some of these teams have been doing and who might be some favorites to maybe pull it out of their divisions. Well, we kind of talked about it, but we really didn't get a chance to like pour into all the teams we were seeing. I mean, we talked a lot on the National League, certainly, because
that's the better league.
Whatever, but to each his own. But obviously, combined with that, I also wanted to make sure that the American League got some love because
Why?
Because there's a lot of good teams in here still.
They
There's a lot of good
trash.
teams in here, and somebody else has to play in the World Series. Somebody has to play in the World Series.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Red Sox.
You think that, but we'll see.
All right, fine. It's gonna be the Twins. Let's be honest.
It might be. I don't know. The Twins have been doing a terrific job so far. AL Central looks like it's going to be theirs to dominate. I mean, well, it's going to be a close one because the Indians right now 56-40. I mean, they're only 3 games back from first, so they're making it a tight one.
Yeah, but what are the Indians known for?
Well, I mean,
Choking.
well, they're known for choking in the World Series, it certainly seems, but
So they'll never be good.
well, but here's the thing though. The Indians, they have not traded away any of their top players yet. I mean, Trevor Bauer's still being talked about as being traded out, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. So, I mean, look, as long I see for what I see right now, like the AL Central, certainly there's a chance. But at this point now, it just feels because for some reason the
They're
Twins are just
done.
killing it. The Twins are just killing it.
League's over with.
You think it's over?
Yeah, the only one that is a real fight is the AL East.
Okay, so you say, so with the Yankees leading, with the Rays being in second, and then the Red Sox being in third, you say that's the dogfight.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you do realize that the Red Sox are 11 games back and the Rays are 9 games back from the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, look, you're not wrong though. I mean, this certainly is. It's a fight nonetheless. But I'm sorry, man. But the Yankees right now, they're just. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what they're doing right. I mean, I think it's a lot more just they're incredible offensively, and then pitching wise, obviously they're just working with whatever they can fill in the holes with. But and obviously they can still make a trade. But it's just. I mean, it's incredible. 63-33 this year. I mean, they're tearing it up. I'm in shock. I mean, I really am. I did not think they were going to be this good. I mean, I don't know if anybody did. I'm always surprised with Tampa Bay. The Red Sox, I'm shocked that they're this low. I thought they would have been a lot better after last year's World Series victory, but it's clear that everybody's starting to figure that team out now. So, and obviously your best players aren't performing on that team like they should be.
Hangover.
Yeah, but I give it to the Yankees. They're
Still trash. No one likes the Yankees.
Hey, they could be the ones that walk into the World Series. You don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe this team goes after yet another title. I mean, it's possible.
I hope that stadium collapses.
You just don't like anybody that doesn't wear red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
American flag wannabes.
And I hate the Yankees.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do. I mean, they're the evil empire in the Major League Baseball. But I give them their props. They're fighting through. And then you've got the AL West, which, I mean, at this point, it's kind of just a 2-team race. I mean, let's just be honest. And the Astros, I think, are going to take it. They're 62-37 right now. But the Athletics, they're back again. They're 5.5 games back. 56-42, not too bad, not too shabby. I mean, they're looking pretty good. I mean, all they need is a little bit more help, I think, on the pitching side, and I think they're going to be solid. So, I mean, it'll be a fight. Now, I'll ask you, Tom, who do you think is the favorite coming out? Are you sticking with the Twins? Is that who you're saying is your favorite coming out of the American
Twins,
League?
Cubs, World Series. Mark my words.
Okay, mark your words. You want to put a bet on that?
No, I'm not going to put a bet on it.
Because you still owe a tattoo on one of those bets.
No, we agreed we were both wrong. Get out of here with that.
I'm just playing with you. I'm gonna say for my, you know what? I'm just going with, I'm feeling Houston. I'm still feeling Houston. I think that team is just, I just feel like that team is just too stacked at this point.
They washed up.
I don't think so.
They're too old. Too injured.
I think they're just too good. That's my thing.
They're injured.
I know they're injured, but
where's
even
Jose
still,
Altuve?
I still think they're too good. Because as much as Altuve is important to the team, I don't think he's the solid final piece on that team now.
Where's Bregman? Not Bregman. Who's the other one that's hurt? Cora.
Oh, Correa?
Correa, yeah.
Even without him, I feel like this team is still fairly solid. You know, I mean, I know they're missing some pieces because of injury right now. But, you know, and by the time the playoffs come around, if everybody is at 100%, there's a chance. They've got a strong chance. But, you know, it's, again, this year is just a wild card shoot. It's a wild shoot. It really is. I mean, you can throw a dart and hope that you're going to hit the World Series champion, and you're probably not. And there is no guarantee in this. I know, Tom, you feel confident there's a guarantee in this. I don't feel confident in that. I feel like this is just
Always a confident.
This is just a crapshoot. This is one of those things. You throw the dart at it, you better hope that you're going to be able to hit the World Series champion. But I seriously doubt it. So I mean, look, when it comes down to it, I mean, it's going to be a tough fight. It'll be a tough fight. I like the Houston Astros though coming out of the American League, and for the National League, honestly, God, I don't even know who to. You know what? I'll just say it. I think Dodgers. I like the Dodgers.
They're weak. They're going to go in too hot, not know how to compete.
See, if I would have said the Cubs, all of a sudden Tom would have been like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah, you're right.
But if I don't say the Cubs, he comes back at me with something else. I'm saying Houston Dodgers. And you know what?
No one wants to see that World Series again.
You mean you don't want to see that World Series again?
It was a boring World Series.
I mean, to each his own. You got to remember where we're at, you know?
I don't care.
Oh my God! All right. Well, I mean, so you say Cubs and Twins is your World Series?
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't even want to ask you where you're going with who's gonna win because I already know who you're picking.
Cubs are Twins in 7.
Yeah. So you're saying either or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, away from that, obviously, from all the standings and everything like that, we've got some talk here on MLB rules. If you guys don't know, obviously, there's been a few rule changes that have happened here in Major League Baseball, or rather, not changes, but they're making the attempt to make these changes. If you guys don't know, Major League Baseball has been implementing some different rules such as stealing first base as well as robotic umpires. They've been testing them out in the minor league systems.
No, it's not the minor leagues. It's the Atlantic League.
Or, excuse me, yes, the Atlantic League. Apologies. Well, it's sort of like a minor, but it's not affiliated with
way low down.
It's way at the bottom. But, yes, they've been testing out these
Yet it's higher than the American Association.
Yes. But they're testing these new rules out in the Atlantic League, and like anybody else, anything else, mixed feelings, of course, very mixed feelings. In fact, there's some that would go to say that they hate these new rules.
Yeah, some of them are dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's making the game interesting.
Is it?
I mean, well, let's be honest about this though, Tom, because you and me are not really the casual baseball fan, right? Would you I mean, you would say you're not a casual baseball fan, right?
No, I got the Cubs game on right now.
See, he's a hardcore baseball fan, and I wouldn't call myself hardcore, but I consider myself a baseball fan by far. But I mean, I've grown up with the sport. I've now learned much about the sport, and I continue to, and you know, I think for you and me, we kind of view things a little differently than the casual going fan. You know what I mean? Like they see those rules and they probably think, oh, that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, you and me probably look at these rules and we think, there's good and there's bad.
The only one that intrigues me is the rule about the stealing first base.
Do you like that one? Or?
I actually do.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's
That's
fun.
Interesting. So what do you like about it? I mean, I'm interested in that. I want to know.
The fact that a guy, if the ball gets past the catcher, he can just go take first base.
I mean, yeah.
Why not punish the pitcher or the catcher?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, you know, not to rag on anybody from the Cubs Nation, but you know, if Carlos Marmol was playing in the Atlantic League and
he's terrible. You can bash him all you want.
Sweet. Oh my God. Dude, you have no idea how many people, when I bring up his name and I'm like bashing him, I've gotten people that have gotten very serious about like, how dare you make fun of that man? I'm like, did you not watch him pitch?
He was terrible.
He was.
Anybody who says he's not is idiots.
Thank you. Like I said, I have had more than 10 people who have come at me like, you shouldn't be making fun of him. He was a really good pitcher. I'm like, was he?
He had his moments.
Yeah, exactly. He had his moments. But was he really? I mean, he fell off the mound half the time when he was pitching. So, but I mean, that's one of those things. Like, you know, you think about that. Like, a lot of his balls would go outside the strike zone and go right past the catcher.
Yeah.
Like, how many guys would be taking first if he was still pitching? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing. Like, so it is. I mean, I'm intrigued by it. I don't know if I like it, but I'm intrigued by it. I think it's going to help. I don't know if it's going to help the pacing of the game, but certainly it's going to add an element to the game now that's going to, I think, help make it more interesting,
It would definitely take away from catchers just letting the ball go past.
Right.
When there's no one on base.
Right, yeah. Now they have to scramble, now they have to make sure that they can block the ball, and it's not just going to go way off to the left and stuff. You're going to see more action coming from home plate now. So it's going to make it could drive it to be more interesting. But, yeah,
Can we just really talk about the one that everybody wants?
The robo-umps?
Yeah, that is dumb. It's already failed. And not just once has it failed in that league. It's failed 40,000 times, I've heard.
No, yeah. It's from what we've heard, from what I've seen from some of the articles that have been reporting on it, there's a bit of good coming from it in that, some of the calls it is getting are matching up. But the other problem is that if the ball is not coming in consistently on certain if it's not coming in at a certain rate, I guess, if it's not entering a certain zone, then it's not always going to pick it up. So if it's just outside the zone, it might still measure it as a strike, and on top of that too, apparently these things have also had some mechanical issues down the line, which have really made people struggle with it too. Apparently they have to fix these things
in game.
Yeah, actually, as the game's going on, there's a mechanic that's fiddling with the thing to make sure that it's going. So then you have to have somebody who's manually inputting the strikes and balls themselves as the ump from upstairs, which is something that we know we've kind of been a part of. But at least we've had an umpire to help us out. They don't have we don't have Angelo. What's his name? Angel Hernandez, right?
Oh, that guy's the worst ump in the league.
Exactly, yeah.
What a terrible person.
Yeah. He's the only guy that gets the robocalls, and he still gets them missed. So
he's an idiot.
But I don't know. I think it could be good.
No, it's terrible. Get your baseball head out of here.
I feel like it could be good, but there's a lot that has to happen for it to be.
Nothing has to happen. Let the umps be umps, because that's what's going to ruin every other sport down the line. It's going to ruin basketball. It's going to ruin football. It's going to ruin hockey. It's going to ruin soccer. You should start getting rid of officials, and you're going to start bringing in a robot, and you're going to have a robot's going to get hit in the face with a puck, and it's going to malfunction and explode. You're going to have
It's not like Terminator.
No, but that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a basketball bounce off the rim and go towards the official, and a player's going to go for it, and the robot official is not going to adjust quick enough,
and then
the player's going to break his hand and ruin his career.
Yeah.
You're going to have in football guy running right down the middle or doing a crossing route like you see and run smack into the robot, and the robot's going to burst into a million pieces.
Yeah.
And the guy's going to be concussed.
And then you're going to have the robot union rise up, and then it really is going to be Terminator.
Yeah.
So, no, I understand your point. Certainly this could be a cause for major concern. I think a lot of it though is due to like we talk about Hernandez, right? He's had so many missed calls.
Joe West
is another one. We have a lot of officials that from every sport people have said this is the worst, this is the worst, this is the worst. And I think the idea is that these robo umps, these robo officials can make the game more efficient.
Have you ever umped?
What's up?
Have you ever umped?
Not in a professional manner. I've done the little league, PE, soft games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so have I. And it is literally the most fun you could have. Mm-hmm. On top of that, parents are usually understanding. I never had a problem with crazy parents.
Right.
Now I have coached. Mm-hmm. And I have been that crazy coach wherever I get balls and strikes. But to my fairness, I was coaching 3rd and 4th grade girls, so they're learning the game a little bit more. And
it's more competitive.
It's starting to get competitive,
right?
And I'm sitting there telling them don't swing at anything that's at your head or below your knees. I'm like, letters to knees, letters to knees. And I literally looked at the ump one time with one of my girls in the box and was like, don't swing at anything that's above your letters on your jersey and below your knees. And the ump looked at me and looked frustrated at me as no get out. But I didn't care because
Right.
you're not going to cheat my players out of chances to hit. Now they have to swing at everything, and you're being like, oh, well, there's no strike zone. There has to
Right.
be a strike zone in everything. And the universal one should be letters to knees.
Yeah. No, and that's a good point. I mean, but obviously we're talking about like the youth league. You put it into the professional league.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like,
we
they
have
wanna make sure they
all
get
been
those calls
taught that.
right.
From Little League up, we have
Right.
all been taught don't swing at anything that's not between the letters on your chest of your jersey
Right.
and to your knees. That is literally the strike zone for everybody, no matter how tall or how short you are.
Right. So you're saying then the problem isn't the umps, the problem is the players, right?
No, the problem is that there's not a universal strike zone. Each ump has their own interpretation of it. Now, I get where you have your interpretation of how far out it is. So, like,
Right.
you swing the bat. If my arms are longer than the next person, then if I swing my bat out far, then that, and I can reach pretty far, then to the edge of that bat is a ball. If
Right.
I can't reach it without leaning, that's a ball. And you just have to adjust and go out and watch batting practice.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's a good point. And obviously, too, you have to take into consideration every player because every player is a different size. You know, you've got, like, you just said Jose Altuve, who's 5'6", who's small, is going to have a kind of a tight window of a strike zone. Whereas,
But that's what I'm saying.
A guy like Randy Johnson's going to have something huge.
And I know batting stances are everything too, but still,
Right.
it still should always be letters to knees.
No, yeah, and I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Like, there should be that should be the strike zone, no matter who the player is. Obviously, it'll adjust for the size of the player, but it should be within that area. But I think that's just where they're kind of saying, like, look, we could easily then program it into the robo-umps, and then this way they could track it. And this
What
way they could track
happens
the
if
balls.
this robo ump takes the ball off the back of its head, off a foul tip, or the catcher doesn't go to catch it because now he knows he doesn't have a real human back there to try to protect,
Right.
and that thing shatters? Then what are you gonna do for the rest of the game?
Right. Well, and then you also have to, like we just said, they've been fixing these things in game. If it's not working, well, now what do you do? Right.
That's a longer delay. That's just gonna delay the game even
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think there is something good that can come. Like, I think this combined with the actual umps can help a lot. You know what I
Start
mean?
replaying.
Like, yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, have this combined with the umps, I think can help out a lot. But just using these as the umps by themselves, I think you're asking for a lot of trouble, right?
Yeah.
Put them together, I think it
100%.
could work.
I don't know about that.
I mean, let's say it's like a second eye in the sky. You know what I mean? Like, let's think about it this way. Like, say the ump had like a little like tracker on like a phone type thing, right? Or a GPS something, and he kind of has the outline of the zone then, right? Because the robot one is now painting the zone for him on the player.
Yeah,
So
I
that
guess.
could be something that could work. But that's the thing is, like, they have to see that, and that's something that Major League Baseball clearly doesn't want to see. They're trying to replace these umps now with robots in hopes that this is going to solve things. It's not.
This is gonna cause another lockout
Well, and that's the problem too, is that the CBA is coming up soon.
because the
For
players
baseball.
don't want this either.
Right. And they're frustrated already.
Like they're
with ownership.
frustrated because the calls are going terrible, but they also don't want. They're seeing this now, and they're like, "Well, what
Right.
happens when this comes over here? When they decide to finally do it, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be bad."
No, yeah, and they're already upset with the ownership as it is over some of the rule changes they've made and the replay stuff and things like that. The challenges, a lot of the players now are speaking out on that stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have now said they're not, bringing in the robo ump stuff is just gonna make things just get a whole lot tougher. And like I said, I truly think that if you combine the two of them, I think it can work. but
Nah,
by itself,
we'll have to see.
yeah, that's the thing. We'll just have to wait and see on it. I really hope, though, they take their time on this and they don't rush it. Because you rush it, that's when problems are going to start.
Yeah.
That's when problems are going to start. And like you said, that's when you could have a lockout. And now what are you going to do?
Exactly.
It's just God.
It's a poop show.
It is a poop show. All right. Well, usually we would cut to a commercial break, but I think we're just gonna keep tearing through
God.
this. Do you want to go to one?
No, I really don't.
That's fine.
I'm
Yeah,
super scared.
Yeah, we'll not put you in that position. We'll just keep tearing through this. All right. So, what do you guys think about Major League Baseball? The outlook of the season. How's it looking for you guys? Who do you think is going to be there at the World Series? Who are your playoff teams in there? What do you guys think about the new rules? Do you guys like the stealing first base? Do you guys like the robo-umps? We didn't even talk about some of the other rules they might be implementing soon, but those are the two main ones right now that have been the big focus, obviously. But what do you guys think about the rule changes that have been happening in baseball? Obviously, you guys can comment down below. Let us know what you think about it. All right. So, staying in America still. We're staying in America.
Boo.
Obviously, we've kind of talked a little bit about NFL. And while we may not really be spreading too much love to the NFL outside of like some of the Bears stuff maybe that we will talk about here and there, I thought it would be good to maybe answer some of the preseason questions. So this is the NFL's preseason kind of stuff where we're just going to kind of pour through some of the questions I thought. Not every team. It's too much. That's way too much. But these are also kind of. I know, but there's a few teams that have a lot of waning questions right now that I thought would be pretty good. And not only that, but some of these are actually mixed in with some fan questions that we've got too.
Is one of them, what is John Gruden going to do this year that's going to make us scratch our head?
Not technically, no.
Dang it.
That's not one that I saw. I mean,
But that is
it is a question though.
No, but that is the Raiders are going to be on
They're on. Yes, they're going to
Hard
be on Hard
Knocks.
Knocks.
Yeah, that's the show.
Yes, they are. I can't wait for that. That is going to be such good popcorn. I cannot wait to see the
As much as I wanted to see the
circus.
49ers, it's whatever.
Well, I think it's one of those things where, like, if we would have saw the 49ers, it would have been like, oh, that's interesting. But I feel like they would have been very bland, right?
Yeah.
Like the Raiders are like a circus. You got Antonio Brown who's talking a lot. You got John Gruden who thinks he's the world.
I just want to see the Bears once. Like, I wish they would have done the Bears 2 years ago.
That would have been nice. That definitely would have been nice. But here's the thing. I think the Bears just don't want to do it.
No, they don't ask teams who made the playoffs.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one of the big things. But that's the thing though too. Even when they weren't making the playoffs, I think they were a team that just I don't think management ever wants to do that to them. I don't know. I feel like that's probably the way they want to go. Or like
I don't
McCaskey,
care.
I
Just
think
put them on there. I want to see my Bears.
I know. I do too, man. I do too. Although we could just go see them live.
I'm trying to get tickets.
We could film them ourselves if we wanted to. We could do our own Bears knocks.
Ooh.
See?
Work it.
We can work on that. All right. So we got some questions here. I'll throw these out there now. I'll start with one in the NFC North because obviously we know this team very well.
Is it the Packers?
It is the Packers.
What a
yes.
trash organization.
So if you guys haven't heard, obviously a while ago I did a big thing on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers and the whole story that blew up about how Aaron Rodgers is not very cohesive with his teammates.
He's not coachable.
Exactly. There's this whole word that he's not a good player. He doesn't get along with his teammates. He blames everybody else. He hated Mike McCarthy ever since he didn't get drafted by San Francisco. It's just a
No,
nightmare.
it's what Jake just sent me.
What did he send you?
He said John Gruden's going to trade the whole team.
Please do. I'm begging you, please do. Oh, my God, yes. So this question is about how Aaron Rodgers will mesh with new head coach Matt LaFleur. That is one of the big questions right now.
He's
circling around.
not.
You don't think he is?
No.
Well, I honestly think you're right on target already because he's already come out and said he hates the system.
Because he's a loser.
Well, he's not a loser.
Oh, wait, hold on. There was more to that text. He says he's going to John Gruden's going to trade the whole team to the U.S. women's soccer team. The U.S. women's soccer team doesn't need them. Maybe the men's side might. I don't know.
Yeah, the men's might need him. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't say that about Rodgers. I just feel like he's that kid that just can't get over the fact that he lost in high school. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy that still talks about that one game that, like, back in, like, 1982, he's like, oh, we should have won that state championship game. Like, dude, get over it. Like, he's still upset about the fact that McCarthy didn't draft him number 1 overall as a 49er. Like, that's, like, I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. The whole idea of him and Matt LaFleur, you know, he's already said he doesn't like the system. He's not really sure if he's going to be able to make this thing work. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Aaron Rodgers, by and large, has been one of those guys that just struggles to adapt. That's just my thought on it. I just think he's a guy that just struggles to adapt as a quarterback in the new league. He doesn't want to change the system. He doesn't want to do things different. He would rather just continue to do the same things, right? Like, you look at a guy like Tom Brady, you look at some of these other quarterbacks that are out there, they'll look at the teams that are out there, they'll look at the defense, they'll adjust things, and, you know, they'll make the changes that need to be made offensively. Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys that, unfortunately, he just doesn't – if he doesn't like a play, he just throws the ball out of bounds and kind of gives the middle finger to the coach almost in that sense. Like, he just does not care. You know, I mean, we could call him a great quarterback, and I think he certainly is a great quarterback. But when it comes to being like a player, a teammate, he's one of the worst. I mean, it seems it's one of those things that you never would have thought this would have come from him, but sure enough, it's breaking out more and more. Some other things that are out there is that four teams out there in the NFL. This is another. It's not really a question, but it's more of like a statement of this is something that will probably happen. There are 4 teams: Tampa Bay, Miami, Jacksonville, and I forget what the other one was right now. Oh, pardon me on that. It was Denver. They were saying could potentially see quarterback changes by the 3rd week. Oh, and Tennessee. Tennessee. There was.
I don't agree with that one.
You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with the Tennessee one. I like Marcus Mariota. I think he's just in a bad situation right now. They're not building around him.
Well, here's the thing. They just got him some weapons, right? They just got him Adam Humphries. They drafted A.J. Brown. They've got Corey Davis. So now they've got receivers to help him spread the ball out.
That's going to help. That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the other ones I totally agree with, except for maybe Denver. Mm-hmm. Joe Flacco isn't terrible.
No, he's not. He's not. But I think there's an idea growing by some people because there's a lot of people saying he looks great in Denver. Like, a lot of the reports coming out of Denver say, oh, he looks fantastic. And I mean, and a lot of that's coming from teammates, but and some of the reporters from Denver, you know, and they're going to obviously hype up their team. But if that's the case, he might actually have a pretty good season, right? And Denver has some pretty good wide receivers that can run down the field and catch the ball. So
that's the whole thing is he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Right.
He is a proven quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I think he can go out. He just needed a change of scenery.
Yeah, no.
And I think that's what it is sometimes. Like, these guys don't want to leave their teams that they came from, that they're drafted by.
Right.
But sometimes it's just best for their careers.
Well, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning left Indianapolis.
We're not going to talk about him. I don't like him.
Well, but no, but you know, you bring it up. I mean, it's the truth, right? He leaves Indianapolis, he goes to Denver, wins a Super Bowl. You know, I mean, it still has a good career there, still has life left in him to play in the NFL, right? You know, it's one of those things where maybe you're right. Maybe a change of scenery is what's needed. So I'm in agreement on the Denver situation. I don't know if that's really going to happen. Tennessee, though. If Mariota does not show up like he did his rookie year where it was 24 touchdowns, you know, and I think only like 12 interceptions or something like that, if he doesn't show up in that fashion and have better passing numbers like he did at the start, then I think maybe not by week 3, but by like week 8. Halfway through the season, they'll go to Tannehill and say, okay, you're the guy. because that's the reason I think they got Tannehill, is because I don't know if Mike Vrabel's really sold on Mariota just yet. I think he likes him at quarterback, but I just don't know if he's sold on him. Jacksonville definitely makes sense. I don't think – look, Jacksonville just overpaid for a relief pitcher to try and say, hey, you're the starter.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I mean, a lot of people have said that. Like, he is a guy that he's like, I'm a starter. I'm not a relief pitcher. I'm a starter. Yeah, but your best moments have been as a relief pitcher. Sorry, buddy, but you haven't played a full season in a long time, and the last time you did it even was with the Eagles, and that was when you were just able to bomb it to Deshaun Jackson.
Now, who are we talking about again? I know we said Jackson.
Nick Foles.
Okay, just making sure I got that.
No, yeah. Nick Foles, definitely. Yeah, it's I'm sorry, but his best moment was as
He
a
is a
relief.
Super Bowl winner and MVP.
Yeah, but it was as a relief guy, right? It was not as a full season quarterback. There's a big difference on that. So, I mean, it's as much as what he's already had in his career is great. I mean, Jacksonville just overpaid. I think they're going to have to go to the backup at some point because I don't think he's going to perform because they got nobody. They really have no weapons to work with. Tampa's just like a given at this point. Tampa's just a given.
Just get rid of Jameis Winston. That was the dumbest draft pick ever.
Here's the thing. He looked good, obviously, in that first year. But, I mean, you never had a coach that could control the guy, and the maturity issue has always been there. And now Bruce Arians is going to come in. I don't think Bruce Arians is going to be able to control this guy. I think it's going to be a big issue. And then at some point, I say Arians gives him till week 4 and then pulls him.
Who's their backup?
It doesn't give me the names of the backup quarterbacks on this from the site that I found it on. It's just giving me the starters that are eventually going to get pulled. Although they list the backup in Miami, obviously, or the possible backup in Miami. They say at least.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, right. Well, no, not Ryan Fitzpatrick. Actually, it's Josh Rosen in Miami.
Wow, they have Fitzpatrick as the starter?
Yes, they do. I mean, we'll get that in a little bit. Because it's either Ryan Griffin or Blaine Gabbert or Nick Fitzgerald. Those are the 3 other quarterbacks that Tampa Bay has got. So one of those 3 guys is going to eventually get funneled in, and I got a feeling they'll
Are
probably
the Cardinals on that list?
The Cardinals are not on that list, believe it or not. There's apparently a lot of
team.
confidence in Kyler Murray.
That's a team.
You think the Cardinals?
Yeah, over the Titans or the Broncos.
No, you know what? That's a fair point. I mean, because he's an unproven rookie, very short guy. I mean, we don't know. We have no idea how good he's going to be. So I mean, yeah, that could be the struggle right there. It could be a telling point. I don't know. I feel like he will last the full year. Like they'll give him the full, he'll give him the full starts. But I could also see too where maybe like he gets hurt. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he gets hurt at some point, and then okay, now you're forced to do it. But I don't know if they'll actually pull him. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it'll ever come.
It's definitely going to be a wait and see, but I don't think because he's a little bit unproven.
Right.
I think they took a big gamble on him just because of what Baker did.
I think you're right. A lot of the hype from Oklahoma definitely helped, and winning the Heisman and all that stuff. I mean, and not only that too, but I think the fact that he is an undersized quarterback, I think that played into it, right? Because we like the things that look a little odd, Like look at like Zion Williamson, right? Like we like him. Why? Because he's 6'7", he's 6'7", 285. He looks odd, right? Yeah. He looks odd. He plays incredible, but he looks
He'd be a tight end,
right?
He'd be a tight end.
Yeah, he would. And so
maybe a middle linebacker.
Yeah. So I mean, but I think you're right. Maybe the Cardinals. Who knows? Because they got Brett Hundley. They've got Chad Kanoff.
I have another one. Minnesota.
Really? Minnesota.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. You know what? I mean, look, I'm in agreement with you on that because I still don't believe that Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I just can't. I don't like.
He's a good quarterback.
He's a good
just
quarterback.
Hot-headed.
Right. He's a good quarterback. He just can't seem to get it. Like, I think at this point now he's in his stats. He's not really into trying to win. You know,
No, because he's trying to prove everybody that he can do everything.
right, and he's killing himself for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got 2 wide receivers who could easily have 1,000 yards with him again. I mean, he did it in Washington with Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson. He's trying to do it again with Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. But he's destroying himself because he keeps rolling out of the pocket and then gets just annihilated by Khalil Mack and
Boom.
Daniels from Green Bay and Ezekiel Ansah, who was with the Lions at that point. You know, he just keeps getting destroyed. I mean, I don't know. And here's another one that they didn't list: the Redskins. I think the Redskins are
Well,
going to be.
that's just because Alex Smith is still hurt.
Well, he's still hurt, but the thing is with Case Keenum. Because Case Keenum's supposed to be the starter over Dwayne Haskins, supposedly.
Yeah, I can see that one.
And then I think at some point they'll say, okay, Keenum's not going to get done. Let's put in Haskins. He's young. Let's get him his experience, right? They'll do the same thing like Trubisky. Halfway through the season, put him in. Let's see what he can do. He might perform well. He might not. But, hey, at least you give him like a first-year experience.
Another one?
What's up?
The Ravens.
Really? You think Lamar Jackson might come out?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Why? Any particular reason why you just don't not feeling him at all, or?
I think just because of his size. I think that's the biggest factor out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly his playing style can be very. It can be very iffy. You know what I mean? Like, he's all over the field. He tries to do way too much. Very similar to Kirk Cousins, except this time you got a guy who can run, who's very agile. But if he gets caught wrong, then it's like, well, it's Robert Griffin III all over again, you know. And I'm sure Baltimore is scared of that situation. So.
But that's also their backup.
Right. Yeah. That is true. And then, like I said, Miami is another one. A lot of people are saying that it feels like Flores will probably give the nod to Fitzpatrick. And then ultimately they will, at some point, probably after week 5 or 6 maybe, give it to...
Why wouldn't you give Rosen the start?
That's my thing. Like, I've been really wondering that. Why not give the kid the nod ahead?
That was his problem. He literally is...
He should have been the starter. He should have been the starter in Arizona.
He literally got the short end of the stick.
He did.
He should have been the starter in Arizona.
Yes.
And Arizona might have a better season.
Yeah,
They almost beat the Bears.
That's right. Yeah, they did. They almost did. I mean, I agree with you 100%. Why? Like, and obviously a lot of people were like that. Like, why Bradford? You know what he is at this point. Why give him the
Like, I understand maybe giving Bradford the first 2 games.
Yeah. Right.
Just for Rose, and then bringing Rosen in maybe in the 4th quarter.
Right.
To get him some reps. And then by that 3rd game in Cleveland or in Arizona, he's in.
Right.
And he is the main starter all season. And then when he got hurt, right? That was the one who got hurt.
Yes, he did get hurt at some point, yes.
So yeah, that hurt him, but it would have looked better if he had gotten hurt
Right.
in week 5 than he did week 8, 9?
Something like that. Yeah, something it was around that area, yeah. But it wasn't for long though. That's what I remember.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If he had gotten hurt earlier in the season, it would have been like, all right, well, he got hurt earlier in the season. That's not their fault. It's not his fault. It happens. But at least he got some of those early game reps. He got his nerves knocked into him, not knocked in, but knocked out of him.
Right.
Earlier in the season instead of going in week 5 or whenever he went in, and he has the nerves the rest of the season.
No, yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, why? It's just one of those things, like, he clearly has the talent. He's got a great release. He's got all that good stuff. He's clearly got that style.
I have another team that I just thought about.
Which is?
Are the New York Football Jets on that team list?
No, they're not. They're not on this
Not
list.
the Jets. I meant the Giants.
Oh, the Giants? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, the Giants for some reason are not on here, which I think is blasphemy.
Why?
Here's what I'm going to throw at you. I think here's the reason why. Because the Giants, I truly believe, and call me crazy on this, they're going to use a 2-quarterback system.
Oh, my God.
I swear they're...
Have they not watched enough college football? That doesn't work.
Hey, it worked.
Trust
it worked
me.
in Northwestern.
No,
It
no,
worked in Northwestern a
trust
little
me,
bit.
trust me, trust me. I am well aware it does not work.
I know, yeah. Notre Dame has tried its hand at that before. But it's
It works. It works for like 2 games, and then everybody picks it up.
Hey, it did work at Northwestern for like half a season with Trevor Simeon and blanking on his name. But it worked at Northwestern for a little while. That's just me calling it out. Honestly, I'm surprised they're not on this list. I think a lot of people are just kind of under the idea, though, that it's just going to be Eli Manning for another full season.
Well, Eli didn't even play last year all full season.
That's the thing, is like he got hurt. He didn't play the full season.
No, he didn't get hurt. They sat him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they pulled him for what's his face. I'm
what's his face?
Webb or something like that, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, and then he got lit up.
Yeah, exactly.
Or no, was that Buffalo? That was Buffalo.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember who exactly it was, but yeah, Eli Manning for some reason. Look, whatever your thoughts are on him, yes, he's got 2 Super Bowl.
I hate the Manning
victories and stuff.
family, so my opinion is biased. But I think he's the better of the 2.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. I mean,
Because Eli won his 2 Super Bowls against the New England Patriots.
that's true.
And the other Manning one against the 05 Bears, whose defense was outstanding, and his defense was way better than our offense.
Yeah. Well, you mean 06.
Okay, 05, 06 season.
Yeah, you're close. You're close.
And we had Rex Grossman. And we were
Right.
all under the impression we won the Super Bowl after Devin Hester's kickoff return. Don't lie, you thought the same thing.
I mean, there was a lot of people. If social media would have existed, you would have seen a lot on Twitter.
It would have been
Facebook
all
saying,
Bears
"Game
fans
over."
going, we just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
just won the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it would have been like, what are we doing?
Yes.
What are we doing?
Paul Grossman, what the hell? Yeah.
Put
definitely.
Orton in. Put Orton in.
Or Greasy or something.
And then the other one was when his defense was literally outstanding in Denver
Yes.
and just shut out Carolina.
Yeah, when they
Literally just shut out Carolina.
when they
because
won it
if you,
single-handedly.
Because if you look the year before when they lost to the Seahawks,
Right.
which is another trash organization, that's just a shot at Drake. That defense wasn't as strong as they were the next year, and they got lit up.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're
He
absolutely
never
right.
won a Super Bowl for him. Now, I know people will come at me and say, well, Brady never did that.
Mm-hmm.
Brady never won a Super Bowl by himself. He had kickers who won his first 2, and he had receivers who, yeah, I understand that, whatever, but Brady also had to throw the balls to those receivers who made outstanding catches.
Right.
He had to go against Belichick. I guarantee he changed up plays a lot in those Super Bowl wins.
Well, that's the crazy thing about it is like Belichick, a lot of people always say, Belichick and Brady, but we got to remember Belichick really only cares about what happens defensively. I mean, he oversees everything, obviously.
Yeah.
He cares what's happening with the offense, but from what word of mouth has come from New England is that it's Brady, the
Just say
quarterback coach.
Boston.
The what?
Just say Boston. Why aren't they the Boston
I don't.
Patriots?
Because
Like-
they represent the whole New England area, man.
Yeah, but isn't the New York in the New England area?
No, it's not.
It's not? I always
No,
thought
it
that was
does-
considered.
No, the New England area is like Rhode Island and Boston or Massachusetts and Delaware, all those like states
Oh,
together.
right
are
on
New
the
England area.
ocean?
Yes, all
Okay.
those.
Because I always thought that New York was considered part of the New England area because of the original, like when it was the 13 colonies, like
Right.
that was New England. That's where they all went.
Yeah.
And then everywhere else was just everywhere else.
I love the fact we're giving people a history lesson.
But
And no,
hey,
it's I understand
it's
what
for
you're
the
saying. 'cause
sports
there's
fans that are confused.
No, you're right. Because there was a lot of times where I was like, "What is the New England area?" And then you look and it's like, "Oh, it's all these states and everything." And it's like,
Like
oh,
it
okay,
makes sense that it's on the water.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you think about it like back in the day and when in the 1700s,
Right.
you're like, oh, well, wouldn't New England just be considered like New York, Massachusetts?
Right. You would think everything there would just be
New England. And that was my. So does that mean Maine is part of the New England area?
I don't I'm not sure on that. I'm not 100% sure. I do know that they're kind of split evenly when it comes to like sports fans.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
they're like half New York and half Boston, and then really weirdly, there's like another section that's like all like apparently there's a section in Maine that like supports Los Angeles sports. Like,
Yeah, it's
hardcore,
weird.
which is weird.
It's
really
super weird.
It's really weird to see that because like in California, apparently down south, there's like a section that like supports like Midwest sports, like Minnesota
Well,
and
yeah.
Chicago and stuff like
There's
that.
there's places in Florida.
That's
It's
right,
perfect.
yeah.
Florida and Arizona are the perfect examples.
Yes.
In their spring training, those little areas like Bradenton, Florida,
Yeah.
is not Tampa fans. They're not Tampa Bay Rays fans. They're
No,
not Miami, Florida fans. Yes, they are Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans.
Right.
But they are Pittsburgh Pirates fans.
That's
baseball-wise,
right, yeah,
because that's where the Pirates play.
Right.
And
Which is so strange to see.
Sarasota, I think it is where the Phillies are.
Yes.
They're Phillies fans. Literally, it's Phillies bars.
Yeah.
all
yeah.
right there.
It's weird. It's really weird.
It makes sense because they see those teams for 2 months in February
Right.
and April, and it's like, okay, well, I don't see my team. Like, I can go see the Rays,
Right. Yeah.
but I'm gonna now. They'll go see the Rays play if they're playing like Philly or the Pirates or whatever.
Right.
But they're not big fans of the Rays or the Marlins or that stuff.
No, they're not, and that's like the weird. But that's what like, but that like I understand makes sense. But like when I saw that whole like the whole charter thing that shows like what state supports which team, and Maine like
Well,
is
it's
split
crazy.
down the middle with like
You and me have argued about it.
about what?
Notre Dame, Northwestern.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
You and me have literally had this argument
Too many times.
to
Too
a
many
full
times.
extent. And it is proven because there are billboards out there
Yeah.
that say Northwestern is Chicago's Big Ten team.
Right.
They don't say they're Chicago's college football team because Chicago's college football team, unfortunately for your sake, is Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because you get all the Notre Dame alums who have grown up in Illinois and or haven't grown up in Illinois but then find jobs in Chicago,
Yeah.
and they're just staying here and living here even though it's a crappy state. I'd probably be in jail after this.
Now you're bashing our home.
Do you blame me? They're trying to tax us when it rains.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on that stuff. I'm not even gonna get into that.
No, we're
We
not.
could
I'm
go
just
for
saying.
another hour on that, and I'm not doing that. We don't have the time.
But for that sake, that's why Notre Dame is a huge, like, you look, when they show like this college like fans and stuff
Right.
like that, you see it. It's like Indiana has its own, University of Indiana has its own thing,
Yeah.
Purdue has part of the state, and then it goes. Notre Dame has majority of the state. It goes
Yeah.
into Michigan a little bit. It goes into Wisconsin, and then it's all of Illinois
Yeah.
in the northern area.
Speaking of Indiana, I'm just gonna throw that out there too. There's a part in Indiana down south I've seen that supports Seattle teams.
Yeah.
That is really
Yeah.
weird, and it's like a little speck out there that like in the southern part of Indiana, they are crazy for Seattle teams.
Yeah.
Don't understand it.
There's also a part, now it makes a little sense, but it's like right in the middle of Indianapolis and on its way to Chicago, that half the city is literally Chicago Bears fans,
Yeah.
and the other half is Colts fans.
Really?
Yeah, so when the
God.
Super Bowl, it was the Colts Bears,
Oh my
half
God.
the city was in blue and gold, or blue and orange, and the other half was
Blue and white.
blue and white.
God, that would be a nightmare. That would be an absolute nightmare.
I have a proposition for you.
What's that?
Next Saturday's show, we have to research. Yes, I have to actually do research.
Yes, you do.
Um,
Please.
yeah, I didn't get a quiz. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, it's fine.
It's been a weird week at work, so
It's fine.
I've
dude,
been
it's
up at
fine.
like 3:30 and at work at 5 and don't get home until like 3 or 4.
Yeah. So the person who threw out the fan question last week.
We'll
promise
get to that.
you,
We will get to that.
We will get to that. Like either next Saturday or next Wednesday, whatever Tom can find it.
Yeah, we will
do
we will work on it.
And then-
Work's been a little crazy.
Yeah.
It's just
And
it's
then I will look like an idiot, and then
yeah,
everything's
fair
fair,
enough.
game.
But let's try and see
Obscure.
yeah, thank you.
You're
Like
welcome.
cities and states that root for teams or sport teams from other states that don't make sense.
Yeah. No. I like that. We can
And
definitely
even
do
for the
that.
fans out there, if you live in a town and you root for the Boston Bruins and you're in Arizona,
Yeah.
let me know why. And I'm confused
Yeah, definitely.
because I truly believe the Coyotes are going to be a playoff team next year.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. Wow, you've been bashing that team for a long time too.
No, I haven't bashed the Coyotes that much. I think they're in a bad situation.
Yeah, they definitely are.
I've bashed the owners and stuff like that, but I've never actually bashed that team. Like that team's taken a lot of dumb contracts. Like they have Marian
Yes, they
Hossa's
have.
contract. They got Pavel Datsuk's contract.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like they've eaten up a lot of contracts that have helped us out.
Yeah, and by the way, to management, quit threatening to move the team. By the way,
That's
being
never
such-
not going to happen. But that's
Yeah.
in part of the deal that they're
Keep
not
being
allowed
jerks
to move it.
Yeah, it's just like it's such a jerky thing to do. The fan bases there, like they keep saying they want the Coyotes to be there. It's just like, man, quit being a you know what to your fans. Come on, seriously. So really quick, we do have a fan question that kind of just We'll answer this one out just real quick. So obviously if you guys want, you guys can send us your fan questions at XBP official. No I between the F and the C because I misspelled it when I was entering it.
Oh, come on.
I know, it was bad.
Boo.
At gmail.com. It's in the description down below if you guys want to go check it out. You guys can email us there. But real quick, it's a fan question, and it was just basically, we've gotten a lot of sports stuff. We have a lot of sports questions, a lot of NFL questions actually from people, which is crazy. But we've gotten a few personal ones too. And I did a personal one that was like 3 years old when I was doing my blog.
You also spelled NFL wrong
Did
under
I?
mine.
Oh, shoot, my bad.
Or you just lowercase the L.
My bad. I will fix that next time, I promise. But it's just real quick one, which just basically says they've been watching. This person's been watching us since we started the Facebook, when we first actually started. They saw that first episode, and they got really interested in what we were talking about and what we've done so far, and they really like the show. This is, by the way, from Cameron.
Hi, Cameron.
This is actually Cameron, and he is.
Hi, Cameron.
He is from Juarez, Mexico.
Ooh,
actually.
hola.
He's an American living in Juarez.
Hola, Cameron.
So Cameron
Send me tequila.
Cameron just wanted to ask how we all met. That was his question.
I know
How did
this
we all
one.
meet?
I know this one. It was my first time here at the Illinois Media School. I was in our favorite teacher's class, Tilo.
Are you
Tony-
trying to do Morgan Freeman?
I don't know. Tony Lopez for all you normal people out there. And this man walked in wearing sunglasses.
Yep.
It was July, and it was dark outside. And we all go, "Why in the world are you wearing sunglasses?" And he goes, "Because I'm that cool." And I was like, "This kid's pretty cool."
Is that really what it was?
Partly. And then I found out he went to Lombard North, and I was like, "I hate you," sort of.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Tom and I went to opposing high schools. We're both the same age. You
We
graduated. at
literally
28.
played football against each
We
other.
did. We played football against each other, and we had no idea.
That's the whole messed up part about this.
No. Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought?
Oh, and the director of this campus also went to Lombard East.
Yes, he did.
Let's go East.
Yes, Imran Ali, he did attend Lombard East as well, so they outnumbered me. But yeah, Tom said it. I mean, we met. I walked into the classroom. That was the first time that wasn't actually the time when we personally met.
No, it wasn't. But
The first time we personally met, it was the whole, it looks like you got Donald Trump on your shirt. That was the first time we met. And he's not wrong.
Well,
It
we met in Jake's class because that was like 2
that's
weeks
right.
later.
Yes.
But we were working on the what was it? The concert promos.
Yes.
Because
that's
I had
right.
just gotten back from Lala, and you had already done yours, and I had been struggling with mine all day. Like my computer kept crashing or something. So I was like, I'm done. I'm physically done working on this.
Yeah.
I needed to take the rest of the day just to sit in the classroom and talk and whatever. And then I looked at you, and you were wearing your spitting out sports shirt, and I was like, your shirt looks like you have Donald Trump yelling.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. It totally does now, and
Yeah,
that's
it
all
does,
we
it
see.
does.
That's now all we see, and it's actually really funny.
Yeah, it is. And
Now we've just lost half of our audience, by the way.
Yeah, but like that's God. But like that's really how it started. I'm really tempted to like
I have another fan question.
which is
This one comes in from this weird kid named Jake Bradley. He goes, "Which radio show is the biggest hunk of trash?"
that would be putting up points.
Yeah, because
Sports Sound
X-Bomb's
Chicago.
radio show is actually the best show ever.
We miss you, Bob.
We actually had fun topics. We had a gambling corner.
No, but that is the way that me and Tom met, and then from there, honestly, it was just like talking to him. We just started talking.
We literally went on a road trip together.
We did. We went on a road trip together and almost killed each other, which it was a true test of our friendship. But it was just one of those things
It
where
literally went from you and me
Yeah.
in Arkansas, because there's nothing in Arkansas,
Yes.
arguing about is Jay Cutler an elite quarterback.
Yeah, we did. By the way, I found out the place that has everything is Boomland. That's
It's
where-
Boomland? We're
That's
going
Boomland.
down.
It was Boomland. It was bugging me all yesterday, and I found it.
We're
so.
going on a Friday. Pick a Friday. We're going to St. Louis. We
right.
have to.
All right. Well, no, it was just but it was just one of those things where like I was talking with Tom, and then obviously if you guys know Brett Anderson, our guy Brett Anderson, and then Ilya Lakihan, and then we had Jose Olivares, and then Devon Leroy, and then Evan Wiseman came in.
miss you.
We miss you, buddy. We miss you, and we love all you guys. Obviously, that was the original crew. Anthony Raimondi was also a part of that as well. And then we eventually got Bob Illich. For guys that don't know, Bob is the man with the big
Bob.
beard that you can see in old sports. We miss you too, Bob.
Bob, I miss you.
But
We need to
yeah,
get a hold of him. We need to get him back.
We will. Eventually, we will get him to come back in here because he is still a part of this crew nonetheless, and he was
Yeah,
always
and he was probably the most loved other than Evan.
and very very true. Very
Yes, he finally admitted it.
Yes, we loved him. But yeah, it was just an easy thing of just talking with each other, and then at some point, I came with the idea of doing a live show, and I was like, I need people, and
It was basically me being like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. And how the whole show started was me by flipping a switch.
we don't talk about that.
We
don't talk
totally
about that.
talk
We
about
don't talk about that. But yeah, and I mean, ever since then, it's just been it's been one heck of a ride, man. I mean, we're almost at 80 episodes now. I know, we've been doing this a long time.
Earl Bennett.
Yeah,
Episode Earl Bennett. Can we just do the greatest 80s?
greatest 80s.
80 greatest players to wear the number 80.
Well, I told people if you guys want to, I'm throwing this out there. Let us know what you want to see for like the 100th episode, and also for like the 2-year anniversary, because September
We're going
30th
streaking.
is heck no. But let us know what you guys want us to do for like the 100th episode or the 2-year anniversary. We'd be really interested in do that. But yeah, it's been a long ride. We've almost tried to kill each other. I've wanted to pull my hair out many a times. He left for Philly for a while and then came back, and he's got a fiance, and I'm like, whoa, things changed. No, he had a fiance before he left.
Yeah,
but,
duh.
But it is amazing the fact that we've both been able to stand the test of time. But you know what? I would have rather had nobody else to help me out with this thing, man. I mean,
Woo, because I'm the best.
you definitely are the best, man, and appreciate it a lot. So, I mean, we've got other fan questions. Obviously,
Who's the greatest player to wear number 100?
we're number 100.
Yeah.
Probably some player in cricket.
Yeah, fair enough.
They wear
There you
the
go,
number
Jake. You got your
100s.
answer. There you go, Jake. You got your answer. Someone in cricket.
Somebody in cricket. I don't know who. But yeah, we got more fan questions. Obviously, if you guys want to submit them through the email, Twitter.
Yeah, they're more likely. So people who want fan questions during the fall and winter sports, it's a little harder to do because we have football, basketball, and hockey going on.
Right.
We'll more answer questions when it's just baseball season.
Yeah.
Because there's not so much going on.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, this is the slow time. No, I don't want to say slow time, but it's a little bit more kind of eased up because obviously preseason for the NFL has not started. The NBA is way far out. Hockey is still pretty far out. I mean, they're doing their thing, but obviously it's not kicking up yet. So if you guys do want to hear more of the fan questions that you have for sports, or if you guys want us to answer some of the personal stuff we've got, we'll obviously do it around this time. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta end this show because we gotta get out of here because man, it's starting to get hot in here. Because
Dude, I had to walk out. I had to get something to eat. I had to get a snack.
Was that what you did?
Yeah, I was like falling asleep. I just need something.
All right. I was just making sure. I'm like, where's he going?
No, dude, it was super hot. It's like super hot back here, and the fan's not doing anything.
I know. Well, I told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna get a new fan for this thing. I swear to God.
Yeah,
Because I need to get a new fan, so I might just give him the old one.
Yeah, it's just not that it's doing anything in here. And I'm like sitting here. I'm like, oh, it's super hot.
I hear you, man. Yeah. Well, we'll hopefully we can fix that.
Yeah.
Now you know how Jake feels too, man. So.
Do we?
A little bit.
All right, man. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, Tom. Where can they find you, my man?
You can find me at McLovin6193, as it says on this lovely screen that I made. I'm taking credit for it now.
You're taking credit for
Yeah.
it. All right. Hey, by the way, use your Instagram.
No.
Use it. Come on. I tag you in all these Instagram things. If you went on your Instagram, you probably have got like. Oh, you've
No,
got
I
like,
go on it. When I see the notification, I go on it, and then I just exit out.
Yeah. So you've gotten like 30 messages that are like, you've been mentioned in an Instagram
Yeah,
message.
and I open it so that I can clear it.
God. Can you at least like it?
No.
Oh my God, it's too much work for him, ladies and
Yeah.
gents. All right, well, guys, if you want to find me, you can find me at The Fluffy Guru on Twitter. You can find me at The Boom Crew Captain on Instagram. Guys, if you want to follow us on our Facebook page at Team X Bomb Sports, make sure to go find us there. Season 1, Season 2, you can see the original
Where Andrew
cast and
drops
crew
the
there.
F-bomb.
Stop mentioning that.
No.
You can find Seasons 1 and 2 where I say a swear word and Tom very grossly touches a pumpkin.
Hey.
It's true.
It is, but I own it.
Yes, you do. So you guys can go check that out there. We're always posting the new episodes up there as well, so if you guys want to check them out. Find us on Twitter at XBombSports, on Instagram also at XBombSports, so make sure to go follow us there where we're always posting photos and videos as much as we can. New shows will always be there in the link in the bio of the Instagram. They'll always be at the bottom of the Twitter as well, so make sure to go check those out, guys. And also, too, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page here at XBomb Productions. Like, comment, subscribe. Give us all the kind of questions and comments you guys want for all the episodes we have up here as we start to approach the end of our, as we start to approach the end here. Don't do it. Don't do it. You stink. Unbelievable. This is why Tom did not make the major leagues. All right. So, also, guys, too.
I'm back.
You completely missed.
No, I just skimmed your head. It was good.
It did not even come close to my
Yes,
head.
it did. It totally came
all
close.
right,
Go back
all
and rewatch it.
All right. We
gotta get out of here.
We'll get the replay. All right. Guys, make sure to,
Trash.
even though they weren't here, Jake Bradley, Tyler Prickett, putting up points every Saturday from 12 to 2. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it today, but make sure to go check them out. These guys do a great job together. And with the impending NFL Season 2 approaching us, they're going to be talking more on fantasy. They're also going to probably be talking Madden ratings, possibly even some NBA 2K ratings because those got released. And not everybody's very happy about those, obviously.
All right.
There's a lot of boycott those two games.
Come on.
And also to the Respawn Cast, Kevin Cat, Shaq. Make sure to go check them out every Tuesday and Friday. They are on Twitch.tv, so make sure to go give them some love. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. Much love, and peace out, Boom Crew.